Hello everyone, the Kentucky Patriot here. Want to talk to you and do a quick video on what maybe I'll call improvised weapons. It's kind of maybe twofold, and this is just a thought that I just run with. I don't rehearse this, I don't take notes, I just literally talk to you like you're my neighbor coming over, friend to friend. And I think maybe a little bit of this information will help you. And what I mean by improvised weapons is it's kind of a twofold. One is maybe not what your everyday carry is, or not what you'd like to have because of various reasons. Maybe we'll get into that. And two, something that may not necessarily be what you would think is a weapon, but you can certainly use it for a weapon. And real quick, I know somebody's probably already in the comments saying, well, I'm not giving up my 357 Magnum. Well, nobody's asking you to give up anything. So just bear with me here. But basically, this channel, I've always tried to help you or give you tips or experiences or just things to share with you, just give you ideas. Everybody's scenario is different. Everybody's got different lives, live in different areas, different physical abilities, male, female, old, young, whatever the case may be, different laws, regulations, stipulations, whatever the case may be. For instance, if you live in a college dorm, obviously you're not going to be able to carry an EDC that's if you live out in the middle of Montana somewhere. So long story short, I just want to give you a few examples and maybe a few ideas that is really cheap, really inexpensive, that could very well save your life. And I know what people's talking about, and I say, yeah, sure, when they call a gun is just a tool. But actually, it's really not. And what I mean by that is you can use a tool for a weapon, but you can't really use your Glock for a hammer or for a screwdriver or for a pry bar or for a chisel or whatever the case may be. So really, when I think of your Glock or your M&P or your revolver, whatever your EDC is, that is your weapon, okay? But now tools, on the other hand, though they very well can be a tool, and they can do great things for you as far as building or repairing or whatever the case may be, they can also be used for weapons, improvised weapons. And just real quick, I mean, a hammer, a ball peen hammer, those are legal anywhere, everywhere. But if you have a hammer, you can absolutely defend yourself. And it may not be the ultimate weapon, it may not be the same as your AR, but if you're somewhere that you absolutely cannot carry a knife or a gun or something to protect yourself, maybe you can have a hammer at work. And what I mean by that is even something as quick, I'll just give you a quick scenario, like school teachers at school, they're not allowed to carry a big karambit on, or some of these swords and knives that I've showed you. They can't carry a gun into school in most situations, most scenarios. But a teacher should still be able to defend themselves. And let's say, God forbid, an active shooter comes in. She can't have a sword, she can't have a knife, she can't have an axe, can't have a gun. But what she can have is something like a hammer. And you say, well, that's not going to be no good against an AR. I understand that, but I would still much rather be armed with a ball peen hammer and maybe hide behind the door, and when he walks in, at least have a chance to hit his arm or have some kind of game of attack, rather than just hide and hope they don't get to you. Because hiding or not having a plan, to me, is not a very good idea. And I'm throwing out these scenarios. Like I said, I know sometimes it sounds awful, but unfortunately these things do happen. And let's say, for instance, you're on a boat, and whether it's a national park or some state parks have regulations where you're not allowed to carry a firearm. Well, you get caught, carrying a firearm, you can be in trouble or whatever. And some of you are probably going to. That's up to you. That's your choice. But let's say you do have a boat, or let's say you are going to somewhere like we'd go in Tennessee, Cades Cove. It's a national park. Or if you're going camping or different places, and you're not allowed to have a firearm, but you want to have something that you feel like, in the case of an emergency, could help you. Like I said, a hammer could be a good choice in certain situations, or there's many other things, even something like a cane, a walking stick. Now, you got to understand, again, this isn't taking the place of your home defense weapon. This isn't your tactical M4 Benelli shotgun, but still, something like a cane is better than nothing. But matter of fact, while I was in Tennessee the other day, I stopped by the Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and we picked this up. And this is from MTech USA, and this is stainless steel, and there is no handle. It's all one piece of steel, just wrapped with paracord there, and this is extremely sharp. This is extremely sharp, and the price tag, I literally just took the sticker off, was $17.99, so under 20 bucks. Now, again, Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not telling you get rid of your holsters and get rid of your Glocks. But what I'm telling you, if you're in a boat and you want to just throw this, it is so lightweight, it's not even funny, but it's so sturdy. And this point right here is legit. It is very, very strong, very stout, able to get you out of a bind. There's not a doubt in my mind. And like I said, it's not an AR-15. I get it. But I would rather have this in my hand and this on my boat any day as saying, well, I can't carry a gun, so I'll just use this, okay? And what I mean by this, and I'm not trying to degrade anybody or talk down to anybody, I hope you don't take it that way, but a lot of times people think, well, I'm a big guy, I can handle myself, I can do this, I can do that, but really, probably what you're really capable of and what you think you're capable of may not always be. And even if you are a pretty big, strong guy, what if there's 2 of them? What if there's 3 of them? What if they surround you? What if you're out in the middle of kind of nowhere with no cell phone service on a boat? There's places, and I'm giving you from my experience, where we live, there's state parks where you can't have a gun. You can't have a gun on your boat. You can't, and I'm just telling you, if I'm out in the parking lot loading or unloading a boat, or I'm fishing or whatever the case may be, and the situation gets bad, I'm just telling you right now, I would much rather have this at easy access, and this is under 20 bucks, so it's not going to break the bank. Also, I'm not telling you, I give you no legal advice. I'm not telling you what to do, but like I said, even on a college campus, if your little girl's on a college campus somewhere, or your son for that matter, and they stay in the dorm or they live in an apartment off campus, whatever the case may be, and maybe whatever the jurisdiction is, they're in New York, Chicago, California, places where you can't have a gun, to have this in your apartment, to have something like this, like I said, easy access. I'm not a big fan of a ball bat because you can't swing it over head in most places because of a low ceiling, or you can't swing it because the door facings or whatever the case may be. This, really close contact, really close up and personal, you absolutely can. And I'm not promoting MTech, USA, or any other company, but what I'm talking about is having a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, if things, whether you're camping, whether you're traveling. And I've got a car holster I want to show you. Hopefully, we'll be having a video this week, but literally with Hurricane Fred coming up there giving rain for like the next 10 days, so I can't even get out and do that video. I was hoping to do that pretty soon, which I still plan on it. But it's a car holster. For if you're traveling, but I don't know, a lot of you guys travel, whether it's, you got loved ones, wherever the case may be, and just to have something in your arsenal to protect you other than a gun if you can't carry it, and other tools as well. Like I said, I don't want to sound like, we're paranoid or whatever the case may be, but if you're traveling, if you're going to different places, if you're going through different state laws change, you may not be able to carry even your knife. You say, well, I've got a knife on me, I don't carry a gun. Well, you got to realize overall length sometimes, the length of the blade, the fixed blade, even knives you're not allowed to have in certain situations. But there's a lot of tools and a lot of improvised weapons that you can use that's totally legal, that can get you out of a bind, that I'd much rather have nothing, okay? And like I said, everybody's scenario is different. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to throw you out some ideas. I know somebody's probably already thinking, well, if a teacher, all she has is a gun, God forbid anything like that would ever happen. But I would rather a teacher have something that she can get, that she can use, you come through like this, and somebody hits you with a ball-peen hammer as hard as they can on this bone right here. I mean, you naturally, your arm drops, your head drops. The next hit can be in the side of the head or the back of the head. I know that sounds violent, I know it sounds gruesome, but wouldn't you much rather have a teacher with a ball-peen hammer, maybe put up somewhere with the kids? You don't want third graders playing around with a ball-peen hammer, but she can put that on her filing cabinet where she can get to it, and if they have a lockdown, something goes bad, to have some kind of plan. I'm not telling you what to do, I'm not telling you what kind of a plan to have, but I do think everybody needs a plan for every situation. And I wish I could tell you, it looks like things are getting brighter. It looks like people's treating people better. Looks like crime's going away. It looks like, everything's looking great. But and I don't want to live in a gloom and doom world where we're scared to even live. We live our lives. We do everything we want to do. We enjoy ourselves to the fullest. But I just think in the case when things begin to go south, if things do happen, I don't like the mindset it's never going to happen to me. I hope and pray it never does happen to you. But we can't just walk around with the mindset of, I hope anything bad ever happens to me. And like I said, and I'm going to try to do another video too, hopefully, and I'm going to show you a couple places to put blades in a car. And just real quick, I don't really like blades in a car. in the console unless that's your third blade. It's your third option. I'd like having more than one options because you got to have I like it within a quick reach where nobody can really see you getting it, okay? So that way if somebody does reach in and grab you or something, I can do one motion and get away. Same thing with this, same thing with whatever. Just think about a situation, and I know it sounds maybe a little bit crazy, but try it sometimes. Go through your situation. If somebody does have a home invasion at night and you're in the shower, or it's early morning and you're making breakfast, or especially if you're single and live alone, or if you whatever the case may be, and just think, what would I do if? Do I have a plan? What about my car? What if I break down? What about my boat? What about my camper? If I have kids with me? I mean, these things are just something to put into consideration. Just kind of store back here somewhere. Just think, what would I do? And because situations happen just like that. I mean, you don't have time to prepare. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I do think people fail to prepare, and that's what causes a lot of the problems. Because if the situation, I don't have no numbers for this, I don't have any statistics for this, it's just me talking to you, but situations happen when people have no idea what they're going to do. They try to just look around and think, oh my goodness, and here it's Panic City. Your chances of survival are going to be so much less than if the stuff hits the fan, so to speak, and whatever the case may be, things really go south, really go downhill, that you say, hey, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. Oh, if I can't have a gun, then I'm going to do this. If I can't have this, I want to plan A, B, C, D, and I really believe with all my heart, whatever the case may be, whether it's home defense, whether it's in your car, whether you're traveling, whether you're staying in a motel, whether you're camping, whether you're in a tent, whether you're in a camper, whether you're in a boat, whatever the case may be, if you've prepared and had a few steps and kind of thought about a few things, and you have a plan in motion, you have kind of a routine, kind of an idea of basically what you're going to do if your chances of survival is going to be so much better. And I might make a video another day, another time about where you're at and what you should and shouldn't maybe be doing. It's not that I'm trying to tell you what to do, or it's your freedom. I know it's America, but just a lot of times I think, and we can't always, that's why we prepare. But I think a lot of times though, guys, we can avoid a bad situation by the people we are around and the places that we are. And for instance, I don't care if people think I'm a wimp or think I'm a coward. I really just don't want to walk down New York City at 3 a.m. down a back alley. I don't want to put myself in that position. I don't want to walk in Chicago after dark, by myself with, my accent. I can tell I'm out of town. You know what I mean? I think if we can just kind of watch where we're going, watch who we're with, kind of keep our eyes out, head on a swivel, as they say, kind of watch and prepare, I think we can avoid a bad situation. And unfortunately, if we can't and things do go south, I really think if we have this in hand, like I said, you take a full-grown man with this in his hand, even if there's 3 of them, they're going to really think twice about their decisions, as if I'm sitting here trying to fend off 3 people with nothing in my hand, because you can swing this in multiple directions. And you know what your target can be with this? Anything. It doesn't matter if it's a foot, if it's a hand, a shoulder, a head, a back, an arm. You don't have to have a target with this. It's not like you got to aim and sight picture. You can just absolutely anywhere with this. And I'll try to leave you with that. Like I said, I wish you and yours the very best. I don't want to put a damper on things thinking like, oh, he's trying to scare me or terrorize me. Not at all. Not at all. Like I said, we go, our kids are in sports, we live, we run, we play, we jump, we have fun, we enjoy life to the fulls. But like I said, just want to have a plan B. Just same thing with preparedness, whether it's prepping or whatever the case may be. Just have a plan in place, just have an idea, and that way, hopefully, good Lord willing, nothing ever like this comes your way. But if it does, I really think that you will be glad that you put a little thought into it, made a little effort, and like I said, it doesn't have to be expensive to be effective. So anyway, leave your comments and experiences below, and I will say this, I think there's a lot of statistics that don't get reported. A lot of people's commented and mentioned this in that video I had about the importance of consistent carry, where I drew my firearm into the situation. And there was no shots fired, and a lot of people commented on that and other videos too about a similar scenario happened to them. So it's not only the stats that we see about guns protecting people, it's the stats that we don't see that's out there as well, that just having something like this may stop a mugging or a beating, and it may not make the papers, but if you have this in your hand they may think twice. Or like I said, I had to draw my firearm that time with those. If you haven't watched the Importance of Persistent Carry, I explained the whole story there. But those situations, they don't make the papers, they don't make the news, but we were safe. My family was safe. We went on about our day. And that's what we want for you. We're not talking about being trained, elite, snipers, soldiers, ninjas. We're just talking about you and your family being as safe as you can and enjoying life to the fullest. May God bless you. I do. I wish you and yours the very best. If you would, leave me a comment below. Like, share, and subscribe. I'd really like to get to the 10,000 subscriber mark, and I know we can do it with your help. Appreciate every one of you. Thanks again to all you guys that made it to our live chat. May God bless you. The Kentucky Patriot, signing off.